Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Equination.net's Training Tuesday. And a quick shout out of Happy International Women's Day to all of you amazing women out there. So I hope you've had a great week, and I'm looking forward to jumping into our edition this week. I'm going to get started with something a little bit different this time. I'm going to actually walk through training my graded entries for the week before we jump over to the training center. So I actually haven't had a chance to take a look at these guys yet. So typically what I'll do is I'll go into my dashboard, just log into the site. You can get to this page just clicking on the logo in the top corner. And what I'll do is I'll scroll down and just open up these horses in new tabs. So I'll just right click and open up a new tab. And I'm going to treat the also eligibles as if they're entered, just because they're 21 and 21. There's a chance they might make it into the field. Who knows? So I'm going to bank that they might make it in. If not, I'll deal with that later this week. So let's take a look at Fancy Storm. So this horse is entered into the dash in post position 1. I know for a fact I've been sitting on this horse for a little while now. I think his last race was on the 25th. So he's had lots of training. Well, lots of training. He's had 2 jogs and a workout since then. I noticed he was getting a lot of jogs in a row, so I threw in a workout last time out, actually on the same day that I gave him a jog, and realized that he had that many jogs in a row. You might wonder why I'm saying that. Doing a lot of jogs in a row is not necessarily a bad thing, but the horse is probably going to exit the race in a little bit of rush shape. So that's when we'll see that dip in form, and their injury risk is going to go through the roof out of that. Also, being that he's a 2-year-old, I really want to make sure he has that good foundation. He's still developing. A 122.79 rating's pretty decent, but it's not quite, 3, 4, 5-year-old type of mature rating. So he definitely has more room to mature, and I want to make sure he keeps getting that foundation, even if we are headed for a graded stake. So we have him now at 92% form, 18-17 health and energy, and IRs at 14. So I just want to bump up that form just a little bit more. If I had a little bit more time, I might throw in another workout, but I don't want to take that chance that he's going to go over the top. So basically what happens is if they have a workout, they'll receive a benefit to their form. So it might be, let's say, a plus 20 in this case, right? But we can't go above 100. So what's going to end up happening is the difference. It's difficult to actually talk this out without just showing you the math. But anyways, the difference that goes beyond 100 ends up getting subtracted. So we would only be able to go up 8 points out of that 20 to get us up to 100, which means there's 12 more points. We would have to then subtract from 100, which would bring us back down to, doing the math really quickly, 88%. So we really don't want to drop down to 88% for him, even if it does end up boosting his stats a little bit more. Just in the case of going into a graded stake, I want to make sure he's as close to 100 as possible, and we'll just go from there. I know there's a lot to take in off the bat, but long story short, he's 92%. That's in our range for jogging anyways, if you were tuned into last week's episode. So we'll just give him a quick average jog, train this horse, and we're good to go. He's 99% form. His IR is down to 1%, which is the lowest you're ever going to see me ever raise a horse at. Health and energy, I'm not too worried about. It's Tuesday, and he's racing on Saturday. I might be cutting it a little bit tight, but he should be pretty solid at that point. So he is good to go, and I'm feeling pretty confident about his chances here. I don't know what the track is going to be like on Saturday for that race, but we can check that out as the race gets closer and see what that looks like. All right, so Fancy Storm is all set and ready to go for his graded stake. No more training this week for him. You'll also, if you recall from last week, if you joined us for last week, I mentioned training preferences, so I'm going to pop these up really quickly. So high graded entries is something that I always have checked, because when I'm training from the training center, which is where I do all my training, I don't want to come across my graded entries and accidentally train them if they happen to be 2020 and meet all the other conditions here. So I hide them from the training center so that I can do what I'm doing right now, where I open up their pages individually and see where they're at, so that I can give them that really customized training session as they're leading up to that graded stake. All right, so let's close Fancy Storm, and now we're at Kitty Cat Dance. And if you're familiar with the internet in the 90s, you might be familiar with a really awful, great, hard to say YouTube video of Kitty Cat Dance. If you're not familiar and have some time to spare and don't mind getting a song stuck in your head for a while and not ever being able to forget something, Go Google kitty cat dance, you won't be disappointed. All right, so this horse is entered into the Limitless Stakes on Sunday, post position 9. He's had a pretty good season so far. Liking this horse. I think gelding has done him a world of good. He's 2020, 94% form and 71 IR, so a jog's definitely up his alley. I'm just going to scroll down and see where he is. So he just ran, actually, on Wednesday last week, so perfect timing to turn around for a graded stake, but as you can see, we don't have a lot of time for a lot of work with this horse, so what we're going to do, and this actually aligns perfectly with his training history because he's been very alternating. He's been alternating a lot. Words are difficult tonight. He's been alternating a lot here, so it all works out well, balances well. He's not having a lot of jogs in a row, so I feel completely fine giving this guy a jog. So we're just going to go ahead and train, give him a jog, and hopefully we can get a little bit of improvement out of him from the last race. Form hasn't changed. IR has gone down, so that's good. I'm not unhappy with a 94% going into a race, especially for a 2-year-old. Just hoping that he does, come out of that last race in better shape. We're not getting the benefit of having another workout to boost him up a little bit more, but we'll see how he does, and hopefully he's competitive. All right. We'll close him. Now we go to the first also eligible that I have. So this guy is entered for Sunday, Rainbow Futurity. Let's take a look at where we are. So we have full health and energy, forms 91, injury risk is 69. Another horse that's setting up perfectly to have another jog. So let's take a look. This horse also raced on Wednesday last week and finished second, but posted a new high race rating, so that's definitely good to see. He's had a bunch of workouts in a row, so I feel comfortable giving him a jog. I'm not super happy off of that race. I would have liked to have given him a workout here, but I'm just going to stick with a jog because I think he's going to end up going over the top if we give him a breeze. And with Sunday being the race, there's not enough time to give him 2 workouts, so I'm just going to go with a jog. 93% form, so 2% increase, not too bad. IR has dropped a little bit down. Don't have huge expectations for this horse, but 2-year-olds can surprise you, so we'll see what ends up happening. All right, next up we have Ridiculous Mastery. This horse is in a race on Wednesday next week, so we have a little bit more time. But this horse also comes here with some form below 90%. Health energy is a little bit low, but again, a Wednesday race is what we're aiming for, so we have a whole week to work with here. So this horse ran last on Sunday, hence a little bit of the tightness with the health and energy, and it's coming off of a jog. So workout definitely aligns well with this horse for my usual preferences. So I'm going to give this horse a workout, breezing, and we're up to 97% form, so that's fantastic. IR is a little bit high, but one thing to keep in mind, IR does drop 1% per day, so this should be down to about 67-66% by the time he races next Wednesday, if he draws in. So that's even better. And health and energy will definitely be up by then. I'm not too concerned with that. So, yeah, he's looking good to go if he ends up drawing in for that race. And just like that, we've done taking care of our graded entries. I'm going to close all that out, and then we will carry on with training horses. So we're going to go to the training center. I'm going to train my yearlings a little bit differently later, just because I trained them yesterday, so I want to show you training them again today. I'm going to update health and energy training preferences in a little while, but I'm going to jump in and do the main stable horses first, just to get them out of the way. So I'm going to auto-select, populate all those fields. We'll take a look. A bit of a busier day today, so there's 19 horses to train today. So let's just get to it. So below 90, above 75, breezing workout. At your service. Now this horse jogged last time out, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So I'm going to take a look at this horse. Finished 3rd last time out, 1 win out of 6 starts. You know what, I'm going to go on a limb and give this horse a workout, just based on the fact that it jogged last time out and hasn't been doing the greatest. Here we have a 70% form, so I'm going to go with handily workout for this horse, which is what he had last time. Probably recovering from a pretty big dip on out of a race, so we'll get going with that. Another one that also looks like they dipped from a race. So if you're ever wondering about too many jogs or too many swims or too many short workouts in a row, this is what ends up happening is your horse comes out of the race with really low form. So this horse was more than likely above 90% when it ran, and it came out with low form and high injury risk. That's typical. It'll definitely happen if you do a lot of jogs in a row. So Handily workouts are the best thing to help increase that form as quickly as possible, as well as help give the most benefit to their invisible stats. Here we go, 83, so it's typical of a breeze. We'll do that. This horse will also get a breeze. IR is a little bit high. This horse is more than likely going to end up with pretty high IR from this workout. But what we can do is we can give them the breeze today, and then we'll probably jog in a couple of days, and then the horse will be ready to race. So that's usually my approach for those ones. This one here, again, another example of a horse that probably exited a race that had too many jogs in a row. Really low form, high IR. So we're going to give him another jog, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but we need to bring that IR down before we can give those handily workouts back. Looks lady, breezing, nitrogen. We have 93% form, so just a jog, that'll bring that IR down as well. 87% form. Again, this horse is probably going to come out of this with pretty high IR. We'll need a jog after this before he races again, but that's fine. Here we have a handily workout, below 70%. Here we have one that's 80%, so that's a breeze. This one here, jog will fit perfectly for risky lady. Handily for 76% form. Oops, workout, handily, jog. I'm having issues with my touchpad right now. Jog for high injury risk, and handily for the low form. All right, let's train. There we go. Action plan is first up. So waiting for the page to finish loading. There we go. So this horse is actually nominated for a graded stake. So what I'll do with these guys is I open them up in a new tab, and I'm going to come back to him later. What I want to do is I want to see where he's sitting in the nominations, when the actual stake race is scheduled for. So is it a Wednesday stake, or is it a Sunday or a Saturday, or even a Friday stake, and whether or not we need to get a race in this week or not. So we'll make that decision in a second. I don't want to take away from going through all of these guys. So at your service, 94% form. I could technically give this horse another jog if I wanted to, just to get that form up just a little bit, but there's still a chance that that jog might not actually get that horse up in form. Could just be a very minor improvement. So I think I'm going to take my chances and just run this horse. 94% is pretty comfortable for me for a race anyways. It saves us some time. So this horse likes firm, heavy, and good. Let's see what we have coming up. So we have a heavy on Saturday. Let's just go for that. 61% IR is fine for me and my comfort level, and 17-17 for a Saturday race. He has lots of time to recover. So off we go. Dramatic. This horse is looking fantastic now. So this horse likes fast, muddy, and good, and ran not very well in a grade 1 last time out, but that's fine. We'll find something else for this horse. I think that we have some good tracks coming up. Sloppy. All right, I'm not going to worry too much about tracks, so I don't want to wait too long. Let's just throw this horse in a race on Friday, and hopefully he bounces back from that dismal race he just had in that grade 1. Elusive Dancer, like I said, pretty low. Going to take a little while to come back from that, and their worker too should be good for this horse. Gladiola Corsage. This horse I'm going to throw in a race at 94% form, so this horse likes fast, good, and sloppy. So let's see, we have good coming up on Friday. Let's just go with that. Perfect. Happy Wife, Happy Life. This is the one that I mentioned is going to have high IR. It does. We'll definitely benefit from a jog in a few days, and we'll be able to race off of that most likely. And it'll probably top off the form just enough to be ready to go. Justified Desire, low form. Not going to run this horse. Going to wait. Looks Lady. Let's see. She's looking good to go. So this horse likes sloppy, good, and muddy, and won an allowance last time out with a pretty nice rating. She's got a pretty good career so far, actually. I quite like her. We have Sloppy on Saturday. Now, we have a listed stake here, but it's for open genders. So I'm not super confident in running my fillies against the boys, unless they're an absolute superstar or one of those ones that have X Factor. So I'm going to stick with her own gender and put her in the allowance race instead. There we go. Nitrogen, looking pretty good. Hour's a little bit high, but I'm okay with that myself. Ran allowance, won last time out. She's been having a pretty good season. Wow, one was a 125, and she's a 2-year-old actually, so that's pretty good. Okay. So let's find muddy, good, and sloppy. I'm going to enter out a little bit just to give her a little bit more time to regenerate that health energy. There's a lot of fast tracks coming up. Okay, so fast is not her forte. So alright, I'm not going to enter that far out. There's a sloppy track on Saturday. I think that's our best bet. The rest all look fast. So we're going to go with that, just to give her the best chances that we can. IR is still going to be a little bit high, but it won't be too bad by Saturday, since it will go down 1% per day. Perplexed is going to need a jog that's really high IR. I don't want to run off that. Remark, this one, I think I'm going to sit on and give a jog. 90%, not a huge fan. IR is pretty high too. So, I mean, to wait 2, 3, 4 days and give this horse a jog, then run, I think is not a bad idea. Responsibility. Let's see, this horse, the second last time out in illicit stake. Let's see, we can find a race. Good, heavy, and soft. So let's see, we have good on Friday. Let's just go for that and done. Risky Lady, this horse had a little bit of a tough season so far. Finished 4th last time out with a 125. We're going to keep allowance though, and definitely don't want to drop a 125 rater down to 100K. So we're going to find a fast, good, or sloppy race. Good is probably, we're already entered in that race, so I don't like to run my horses against each other, so I'm going to find something else. Looks like we're going to go for fast on Wednesday next week since we have entries and everything else. Then we have Roman Knight. I could technically give this horse a jog just to get him up a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and run him. He just won just won a grade 1, actually, grade 2 actually, so she's a nice horse. But I'm going to go ahead and throw in her races. We're going to go for fast, good, or sloppy. Fast, good, or sloppy. There's a bunch of fast coming up that we know of, so that's Monday. We're going to throw her in a race there. Yeah, she ran pretty good Nonsense Conda Oaks last time out. This horse definitely needs more work. Stellar Pantano won an allowance last time out. I'm going to go ahead and put this horse in a race. He's looking fantastic. Lots of jogs in a row, so it's probably going to exit the race in bad shape, but we can deal with that afterwards instead of delaying right now. With 2 more workouts is what we would need to do to get this horse balanced out. So fast, sloppy, or muddy. We have sloppy on Saturday. Let's just go for that. Sooner the better, and then we can get this horse rebounding back again. Swift Aces. Let's see. Yeah, 2-year-old colt. I'm going to wait just because it's a 2-year-old, and I'm going to give him a jog later this week and put him in a race after that. Just to take my time with this horse. I'm not really rushing him at this point. Thermodynamic looks ready to rock and roll, so that's fast, slow, and good. Let's try to see what we can find. I know there's a bunch of fast, so we might as well just skip down. We'll run them Tuesday next week in a fast race. And Zardoz. If you're not familiar, Zardoz is actually the name of a really weird, very, very weird movie that Sean Connery was in back in like the 60s or 70s or something like that. I've never actually watched it, but it looks really strange. If you ever wanted to see something really weird, something else to YouTube. Full of lots of YouTube tidbits today. Alright, so this horse likes fast, good, fast, muddy, and good. And won an allowance listed stake last time out. So I think those fast races that are all coming up are perfect for this horse because it gives him lots of time to recover. So I'm totally comfortable that IR is going to be down nicely by the time he gets to that race in a while. All right, so we trained all our horses just like that, already done. Boom. So let's go in here. I'm going to lower down health and energy to 18. So I trained pretty much everybody yesterday as far as yearlings go. I'm going to just pick all ages because no, you're right. I need to see. I'm going to switch this to yearlings because I don't want to have any of the noise from the older horses because I don't want to train any of the ones that were not 2020. So I'm going to update that to yearlings and update preferences. Oh, and while that's loading, here's the guy that's nominated for a race. So I'm going to take a look. This horse is 5th in the standings. He's won 5 races this season. I think this horse is going to qualify for this stake. Now, mind you, it's been pretty competitive, and I've been bumped down pretty quickly in the rankings in these races lately, but I think he's okay to make this race. I'm just going to need to be mindful because he's going to keep coming up to train every few days. So we might end up getting a lot of jogs in a row, but we can always correct that later on. Plus, it's a Wednesday stake, so we'll have even more time to get this horse corrected if we need to. Technically, I could run him right now if I really wanted to. That is actually a really interesting proposition for this horse, because we could technically run him on Saturday. He would have enough time to bounce around, but I don't know how he would exit that race. It would only give me a week and a half to correct it. So I think I'm going to sit on him. I'm just going to let him rest. We'll come in nice and fresh off of that high RR right there. He can get lots of workouts in the meantime and be ready to go for the next race. All right. We're going to auto select all the yearlings, and away we go. So there's 20 down. And 40 down. And 60 down. I love auto select yearlings. And we're done. Just like that. Awesome. So that's it. We have trained all of our horses for the day. It didn't really take us that much time. I think I probably just was talking a lot more to take up some of that time there. So yeah, I hope that this session was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, if there's anything that you would like me to cover in a future episode, please feel free to reach out. I also would love to hear your feedback. So you're more than welcome to send me a message on the forums, in the game, send me a support ticket, email me, whatever you like. Works for me. So yeah, I hope this helped, and I wish you the best of luck in the races. Have a good evening.